Welcome to a demo of Don's Guitar Neck 4.1. This is what the screen looks like when you first open it up. This is a completely free program. You can go over to the web page and download it. And to find it, we go over here and hit the help, and it gives us the location to go to. So go over there and download this. I do ask for a donation. However, I would expect you to download this and use it. And after you use it for a while, if you find out that it works well for you, then go back to the web page and do a donation based on what you think would be appropriate for it. So we've got several sections here. This one right here, of course, is the guitar neck. This right here is the nut. So any strings, any notes that we plot back here on the back side will be open strings. These dots right here are the dots like you would see on the guitar. Here's a double dot at the 12th. This right here gives us a way to plot scales on here for if you were doing a lead guitar. You want to know where those notes are. This plots out chords for you. And here's some settings that we can use to control how the notes are plotted on here. Later we'll go over here and take a look at modes. And in the modes, what we'll find out is that we can plot out notes that different modes, like what the Beatles would use that frequently in their music. So let's start over here with the Chord Builder. Right now we've got it set for a C major chord, and it plots out, or it puts in here, the notes for the C chord. If I go down here to where I want to plot it on the frets, I can go from open, which is 0, to let's say about the 3rd fret, and plot that chord. And then right here is a C chord. Now you can recognize this from a C chord that you probably first learned. There's the open 1st string, 1st fret on the 2nd string, open on the 3rd string, 4th string 2nd fret, and the 5th string the 3rd fret, and then this one open. And since there's a couple of dots here, that means there's a choice. We could go ahead and play this note instead of this open. And in fact, usually with the C chord, I'll put my 1st finger here, 2nd finger here, 3rd and 4th finger here, and actually play it that way. Well, the trick is to be able to get at least one of each of these notes that are being plotted in here, the C, E, and G. So in order for us to recognize that, we can go down here to these color marks, and we're going to color them by the note. So once I select this and then I hit this, what I get is a color coding. And this color coding, each color represents a particular note here. So this pink color, this note, and this note are the same note, just in different octaves. Now, I don't know what these note names are here, and you really don't care if you're playing by ear. You just want to be sure you get one of these color notes, one of these color notes, and one of these color notes. And if you got each one of those, you got a C chord. But if I was interested in what the note names were, I can come down here to Settings and click on Show Names by the Neck, or Show Note Names on Neck, and then plot it again. And it plots out the circles in the colors, but inside of there we can see the note names. So we know the pink note, for instance, is a G, and this kind of army green color is a C, and this kind of a turquoise color is the E. So we just pick out one of each of those. Now let's say, for instance, I put a capo right across this fret here, which is the 5th fret? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5th fret. So if I capo across the 5th fret, I come down here and I'm going to select notes. So I start on the 5th fret and maybe go 3 frets above that, and then plot it. That means if I got a capo across here, these would be open strings here, and you'll notice what I end up playing is in the shape of a G chord, and that will give me the C with capo up here. So that tells us how we can set up the different chords. Let's go back down to the open strings. Go down to 0 and 3 and hit the C chord. And then let's say instead of a C major, we want to do a C suspended. C suspended is going to be C, F, and G. So I'll plot that on there. And what I see is that I could basically, for the C chord, be hitting these and then just drop down to this F or do a first finger across these two. I don't have to have F in every place, but I have to have at least one of them. So, like we said before, we need to have at least one C, one F, and one G to get a complete chord in here. And these would just give us different voicings as we go into different octaves on that. And of course, we can try, different chords. Let's do a D. D suspended looks like that. So you notice that if I went to a D major, like this, I have these three notes here. And if I go to a C or a D suspended, what you'll notice is that I can change with this note up to here. So if I have the D, which would be these three notes here, and then go to suspended, I just got to raise this one up. So a lot of times when you're playing by ear, you'll see that you'll have these chords that you play and you move to a different note, and you may not know what the name of it is. This way you can know the name, but you can also not care about the name and just go with a particular color and knock out the names of it and just do that. And then we can do like D minor and see how that goes. Notice in this, whenever you got the two notes on a string, you can either play the note here or open. So here's a minor sixth, and of course we got some choices in there. So a lot of different ways to do the chords here. Okay, let's move on to doing lead guitar, and on that we're more interested in scales. Now this right here is a G pentatonic. This is the way the device opens up here, or this program opens up. And so if I plot that on there, down this lower frets here, looks like this. Probably a G, you're probably more used to seeing it up at the 3rd fret to the 6th fret. And then we plot that on here. And here's a famous pattern that we see for G, and this is the kind of rock and roll bluesy type thing. And we could go down here and actually show the names, and we can do it by note. So we plot it on there, and then we can see what the note names are for this scale. Let's go here and do black and plot that in. Let's do it without the note names. Plot it like that. And then let's go between the 7th and the 11th fret. And let's plot that in yellow. Oh, one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to leave the notes. I wanted to get rid of this auto clear. So I got this here. Let's go back and plot back on the 3rd and 6th fret. And let's plot it in black. Now I got this auto clear unchecked here, so it plots that on there. And then let's go up between the 12th fret and 15th. Whoops, went the wrong way on that. 15th and the 12th fret. And let's plot that in, let's do red. And plot that there. And what this does for us, since we're all the way past the 12th fret, and the 12th fret is like this open down here, so this would wrap around up into here. So what I see is several different patterns, and if you're kind of advanced on playing rock and roll, you know about this pattern, and then you know about coming up to this and up here, so that way you can play all over the neck. So we just plot these out, in different colors so we can have different ranges in there. Okay, let's go back over here and pick up some information on modes. Now this is a kind of a mode. This is a minor pentatonics, what it's really called. If I go over here and I drop down here and say minor pentatonic key of G and list that in the box, I get this right here. And in fact, I can do a copy and paste it in here. Well, maybe I better try doing, sometimes this prints, sometimes I get a extra. If you go like this and you get this down here to the next line, this will plot with that next line, and you kind of have to go back and erase it out. So be kind of careful. But anyway, if I do that, I can plot that on there. I think I've got another invalid character in there. Well, I wonder which character is invalid. Let's just try to do a copy and paste again. Oh, there was a couple of them in there. Okay, let's do paste, and that plots it. Okay, let's clear the neck out so you can see that we actually did plot it in there. Okay, so besides the pentatonic, there's these other modes in here. Let's just go down here and plot all of them. And this is all in the key of G. So if, for instance, let's go down to the familiar territory down here, about the 5th fret, and 12th. Or maybe what I wanted was the 3rd fret and the 6th fret. Yeah. Okay, let's clear everybody out of there. Put the notes on there. Okay, there we go. I was actually plotting the chord here, but it needed to be plotting the scale here. So anyway, there's the scale that we've got. And you'll notice that this is actually the minor, G minor, with a couple of notes missing out of it. So I got A's missing out of it. I got G, B flat, C, D, E, G. So I got A missing out of it. I got the B flat, got the C, got the D, and E flat's missing out of it. So if I actually wanted to plot the minor scale instead of the pentatonic minor, let's just copy this. Let's get rid of this. And let's do a paste. And then plot this on there. And you can see the notes that have been added in here for the actual minor. So I got this note and this note are the new ones, and they're right over here repeated. So if I wanted to do Dorian in the key of G, and what that will do for us is will actually give us a completely different sound when we play. There's a lot of really good videos out there on modes. This will allow you to be able to plot the modes for different keys, and you can look at these other videos and they tell you how to control the modes and what they're used for, and there's a lot of really good videos on that. One of the things about the modes, you'll notice that in here there's a character or a letter that's in red, and what that tells us is that's the actual bass key. So in the key of Dorian G, it's actually based on F major, and when you're playing it, you probably want to avoid hitting that F note. And the reason for that is because once you hit that F note, it kind of makes your ears start wanting to hear F major, and so it kind of takes away from what you're doing. Now you'll notice that in this that there are letters below here, And these go with each one of the note names above it. If it's a lowercase like I here, that means that in the Dorian mode, the chord is A minor. And if it's capital like this one, in the Dorian mode, the chord you could play in there would be B flat major. If it's got a lowercase and a 0 next to it, or just that it's always going to be lowercase 0, that's going to be the diminished chord. So if I wanted to write a song in the Dorian mode in the key of G, then what I would do is I would use these chords, but I would avoid this F. Now these don't quite line up in here. I probably could have done a little bit better job on that, but I didn't. Anyway, so this is like G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, E diminished, and F major. And then, of course, here's G, which is a repeat of the G, so it'd be G minor. So anyway, basically, that's this in a nutshell. So I hope you enjoy using this. And like I said before, it's free unless you want to donate, and I hope that you do. But there's the web page to go to download this. And be sure and check back there periodically, and I will try to update this. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see with this, just leave it in the comments below there. And good luck with this.